What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. So when it comes to whether you should post your therapy rates online for people to see, I've been surprised by how heated people can get in debates around this topic. I mean, people with perspectives from either side can feel very strongly about their opinions. The reality is the decision of whether to post your rates online is personal to you and your practice. So in this video, I'm going to share the pros and cons of each option, and I'll also name which option I've chosen for myself and why. So if you'd like a little bit of help figuring out whether you should post your rates online, then keep watching this video. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Now, before diving into the pros and cons of posting your rate online versus not, it's very important to mention that we are required to inform our clients of our rate as soon as is reasonable in the process. And you definitely want to let your clients know your rate before the first appointment with them. But with that said, we aren't required to have our rates posted online. Now, without giving it too much thought, you might just naturally tend to put your rate online, but there are definitely advantages and disadvantages to that. So before you make a decision, here are some pros and cons to consider before you decide whether to put your rate online. Now, the first and most obvious advantage to posting your rate online is your clients can know exactly how much you charge before they ever have to contact you. So that's one less question that you have to answer in the initial contact. And also it helps kind of set expectations, because if clients have absolutely no idea how much therapy can cost, they might get a bit of sticker shock in your initial phone call. But if they can see your rate online first, then they won't be so surprised when you talk about it with them over the phone. But on the flip side of that, there will be several folks who just click over to your rates tab on your website before looking at anything else that you have posted, see how much you charge, and then just rule you out as an option altogether. Whereas if you didn't have your rates posted online and they discovered the value of what you have to offer otherwise, then they might be more open to paying your rate once they reach out to you and find out how much you charge. Another advantage to having your rate posted online is you convey transparency to potential clients. And transparency is an important component of building trust, which is an important component of the counseling work that we do. With that said, even if you don't have your rate posted online, you can still be as transparent as can be during that initial intake phone call about your rate and still build trust that way as well. And another advantage to posting your rate online, particularly if you offer a sliding scale or you accept insurance, is you can help potential clients more easily identify whether they can afford or access your services rather than having to sort of fumble around and ask you questions in order to figure that out. Now, on the other hand, posting details about your sliding scale in particular may make it more likely for potential clients to kind of shop around for your lowest rate, because it's just human nature. If we know the same product is available at a lower price, we will try to get it at that lower price. Now, we know that a sliding scale is not a discount and is only for folks who qualify financially, but if people can see on your website that you offer a lower rate for the same service, they may try to convince you that that's what they qualify for, even if they don't. P.S. If you want to learn about what I'm talking about when I say a sliding scale is not a discount, I have a whole video all about that, so I've linked to that video below if you're interested in learning more about sliding scales. Now, having said all these pros and cons of the different options, I know I promised you at the beginning that I would share with you which of these routes I've opted to go with and why. Personally, I've chosen to post my rates online. I have several reasons for doing this. Some are personal and some are for my clients' benefit. So here are some of the reasons why I choose to be as transparent as possible about my rates online. On the client end of things, I choose to post my rate online so that potential clients have one less barrier to finding a therapist, because I know how incredibly daunting and time-consuming it can be to find a therapist, and the fewer questions potential clients have to ask in order to see if I'm the right fit for them, the easier it's going to be for them to go through the process of finding a therapist. So I'd much rather have a client rule me out because they can't afford me than have to reach out to me and find that out and, kind of waste their time to get there. On the more selfish side of things, another reason why I decided to post my rates online is because as I grew my practice, as my marketing strategies picked up momentum and were really effective, I started getting way more client inquiries every day than I could possibly even keep up with. And though on the one hand that sounds great, which it is, I can't answer all of these people's questions, and also I'm having to turn away a lot of people by answering simple questions that I could have just had answered on my website. So by posting the answers to as many frequently asked questions as I possibly could on my website, including my rate, I reduced how many folks were reaching out to me to a much more manageable number. And for the folks who were reaching out to me, they were people who were pretty much convinced already that they wanted to book with me, and it was just ironing out some final details before they went ahead and booked, rather than me spending a large amount of time answering questions for folks that helps them realize that we're not a good fit to work together and now I need to refer them out to somebody else. It's time saved for me, and it's time saved for potential clients as well. Now, given everything that I've shared, the decision is completely yours about whether you want to post your rates online or not. I will say, in general, it's likely the best fit for most therapists to go ahead and post their rate because it's already so hard for potential clients to find a therapist as it is, but I do think in some circumstances it can make more sense to wait until that initial phone call to share your rate, particularly if you're charging significantly more than what most therapists with the same credentials as you are charging in your area. Either way, the decision is personal to you and your practice, and keep in mind, you can try one of these options for a while, see how it works for you, and then switch to the other option and see how that works for you. You don't have to kind of decide and set it in stone forever. Hopefully though, by hearing the advantages and disadvantages that I covered in this video, you feel equipped to go ahead and make that decision for your practice. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. TherapyNotes helps with scheduling, notes, billing. They have a HIPAA secure platform, and if you have an exclusively cash pay practice, TherapyNotes can directly charge your client's card, which is so convenient. If you'd like to check out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, I hope you found this video helpful as you decide whether to post your rates online or not. Let me know in the comments which route you go and why, because that will help other folks as they're trying to make their decision as well. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. It makes sense for us to work with. Oh dear, Marie.